A few of my longest viewers might remember my Shock Blaster only run of Ratchet Clank 3 back in the barely any views days of January 2025, and that challenge was really fun. But between then and now, a lot of people have been wondering if I will ever do the same with the Nitro Launcher, and so here we are. Can you beat Ratchet Clank 3 up your arsenal using only the Nitro Launcher? If you've ever seen one of these videos, you know the rules, but for the sake of anyone new, I'll quickly go over them. The only weapon we can use is the Nitro Launcher, so we will not be able to damage enemies with the wrench, rhino, spitting hydra, anything. Essentially, if we damage an enemy with anything other than the Nitro Launcher, the run is forfeit. We will also not be allowed to destroy crates with the wrench, thruster pack, or the charge boots. To break open an ammo or health crate, we will need to use the Nitro Launcher. A quick side note, I've gotten a few comments asking why I even have this rule. I think it just makes the challenge a bit more fun and difficult, you feel me? We will not be allowed to defeat enemies using gadgets like the refractor either, so when completing the laser puzzles, we will need to be extra careful. And there's a couple bonus challenges too. We will have to complete the entire game without armor upgrades. This means that we die in about 2 hits in the late game, adding to the insanity of this challenge. We will also have to complete the Quarktastic battle in the arena. This is a battle with 100 rounds, 3 bosses, and no checkpoints whatsoever. On top of that, to even compete in this battle, we need to complete most of the other arena battles too. So just to really quickly sum up, we can only use the Nitro Launcher, we cannot use the wrench other than for bolt cranks, we cannot damage enemies with gadgets, and for the bonus challenge, we cannot upgrade armor, and we must complete the Quarktastic challenge. Ratchet and Clank are playing chess while watching the hit show Secret Agent Clank, which Clank is enjoying a lot more than Ratchet. After hearing that there is a planetary invasion, they reach Veldin to assist the Galactic Rangers. We've got to avoid a few enemies at the beginning of this level, which is no problem at all. The Rangers give us the Nitro Launcher here to take out the gunship. By the way, we are playing the PS3 port of this game so that we can use the debug mode. Pause the game and input up, down, left, right, square to activate it. You might be asking why, as we already have the Nitro Launcher. We can use debug mode to disable the Shock Blaster, which I'll explain why we have to do this a little bit later. This weapon does have ammo that drops in crates, hallelujah, but it's not as great as you might think. We need to destroy these crates with a bomb, and these ammo crates only drop 1 ammo most of the time. Sometimes it'll drop 2, but this is rare. Unless there are multiple crates nearby, it's not normally worth breaking these crates. With the help of the Rangers, we drop into F sector, but this area is pretty easy, as there's plenty of ammo littered around. After one final gunship, we meet the Galactic President, and he tells us to find Captain Quark, who's been up to his antics deep in the jungle.
I seen him run right through our camping site. He was buck naked, screaming and holding a banana. Or maybe it weren't a banana.
Oh my god. We reach Florana. This level is pretty easy, not because the enemies are easy to take down, even though they are. We can simply skip most of this level by jumping onto this rock and doing a double jump just right, and we can then skip right to the Path of Death. Hey, it's Scrunch. The Path of Death is a pretty easy obstacle course, and we even get a skill point for not taking any damage. And then we need to fight the leader of the tribe, Captain Quark. This fight is pretty easy, as there are lots of ammo crates that will infinitely respawn. You can simply bait Quark or one of his lackeys into destroying the crates for you. We take the captain to home base and stick him in a cage suited to a man of his standing. We reach the capital on Marcadia, which is under assault from Dr. Nefarious and his army. We can min-max the Nitro Launcher as it's an AoE bomb launcher. Even min-maxing, however, we will still run out of ammo fast. Most of the time, whenever we run out of ammo, we can simply backtrack to a vendor, as the enemies will always remain defeated. Getting to the Rangers' front line is pretty easy, so I'll just really quickly go over the upgrades the Nitro Launcher actually gets. At level 2, the range is improved. At level 3, you will get a lock-on mod, which also shows how much damage you're dealing. At level 4 is another range improvement, but it's more aerial focused this time. At level 5, the bomb will shoot shrapnel in all directions. With all this in mind, we now get to begin the Ranger missions. These are going to be a struggle. Ranger missions and arena challenges are the only two types of levels that do not have a vendor, period. Even with min-maxing, we will not be able to do this mission alone. Luckily, we aren't alone. The Galactic Rangers are going to be a godsend here. Take out the big groups of enemies and let them take out the saucers and the tiny Terranoid enemies. After a few more challenges just like this, we meet the President, who seems to know a little bit too much about Ratchet.
My daughter tells me you're a man who's good with his hands, Ratchet.
Sir, I swear
We pick up the Refractor gadget here too. We need to take out all the enemies before using the Refractor just to make sure we don't accidentally hit anyone. That doesn't mean that we can't get the small enemies to walk into the lasers though. We meet Big Al, who's hard at work fixing the city shield.
No, I mean, it's... Clank, you speak, nerd.
He then gifts us the Captain Quark video game, which we play to get Quark back to normal. Well, for him at least, I guess. The arena is up next. We won't have a vendor for any of these individual challenges, though we do get a free refill at the beginning of these challenges. The arena is split into two different types of missions: the obstacle courses, which are pretty easy, as there's plenty of ammo around, and worst case, you can simply run past the enemies, and your classic arena death matches. These are going to be the bane of your existence. You need to make it to round 6 before ammo crates spawn in, and between now and then, there are a lot of enemies. The first few rounds are pretty fine as we can get the enemies to friendly fire each other. It's the spinny blade enemies that will make you cry. They will only home in 3 at a time, and while it is possible to destroy a few extra by getting the bombs range to where they're flying, this is inconsistent as sometimes they'll just reverse directions before getting close to you. But I do have a plan. You can refill your weapon's ammo whenever you upgrade it, so all we need to do is grind for a bit until the XP meter is almost there, and have the gun level up mid-arena fight, giving us just barely enough ammo to make it all the way through. And as a reward, we not only become very ugly, but hear that the captain has undergone immense training and is now Army Chief of the Galactic Rangers. This can only end well. Before leaving, we can do a good few extra challenges, but not only are many of them locked behind the arena's second visit a bit later in the story, but I'm going to recommend we don't do more arena matches until we get a certain gadget. Feel free to do the obstacle courses for extra bolts and a bit more XP for your health bar and gun though. We head deep underneath the sea as the captain has decreed an attack against Nefarious's base. We even get Skid for the journey, and he will be using his gadget, the Hacker, to open doors. Luckily, he doesn't have a health bar for us to worry about though. This isn't Jack 2. But we will need to take out most of the enemies in this level to get him to go forward. After a bit of swimming and defeating whatever the that is, we get through phase 1 of the mission, and even meet family-friendly arms dealer Slim Cognito.
What are you doing down here?
I had a small run-in with the cops concerning a suck cannon upgrade that was mistakenly sold to a minor. I swear the kid looked 18.
Ratchet and Clank now need to split up. Clank will be dealing with the security above with Scrunch, who's unironically more helpful than Skid, while Ratchet has to do some bonding with the Terranoids. They both end up meeting in Nefarious's office, where it is revealed that he is a Secret Agent Clank superfan. We then meet the plumber, who tells us to find more sewer crystals to trade them for 2,000 bolts each. We end up collecting about 20-something of them, just because it's fun. We don't really need the bolts, but oh well. Captain Quark then proceeds to take all the credit for the operation.
I believe some congratulations are in order. My plan worked even more perfectly than expected. Well?
Way to go, dude?
Don't mention it. I'm just doing my job.
He is truly ever so humble. We are now requested to lead the assault into the Terranoid home base, Terranosis. by halo dropping in. We will have the Rangers on standby with us, but they are honestly no help at all. Rush to the end of the base and take out these 2 batteries, and the first third of the level is over. We are now getting assisted by Scrunch the Monkey, again. Honestly, this little guy is the most helpful member of the team, after Ratchet and Clank of course. It didn't stop me from doing this to him though. We need to take down 4 more batteries, and other than the fact that we die in 4 hits, this level is pretty okay. We are now forced to fight Mama Terranoid, and this fight is impossible unless you have a maxed out Nitro Launcher, so be sure to get that. We go back to the fight, and this should now be manageable. The boss, when swinging to attack you, will destroy crates nearby, so ammo shouldn't be an issue at all. Just make sure you don't get hit, and she goes down. With the captain once again taking all the credit and committing light assault against the reporter. We reach Dax, not to be confused with Daxter from that other game. We need to collect the charge boots first, as we'll be needing these in a little bit. And besides, everyone knows that in Dax, the correct order to complete this level is Charge Boots, Gunship, Facility, and that's a fact. Tracking down the gunship is okay, fighting the gunship is damn near impossible. Even with our fully upgraded Nitro Launcher, we have only 12 ammo, which is just barely not enough to defeat the gunship, but there's a workaround. There's an under the hood difficulty scaler in all these classic Ratchet games. If a player is struggling against a certain part of the level, or in this case, a boss, the game will increase Ratchet's damage and decrease the boss's health to make things a little bit easier. We can exploit this by running off the edge like 10 times or genuinely dying. Shit, the illusion is broken. And now the gunship has less health, allowing us to— oh, come on! At this point, I had lost all hope, trying to find some way to get back to the vendor. Fun fact, you can skip this boss and the end cutscene will play, but the taxi to get you back to the ship never appears. Even by saving and reloading and going to Annihilation Nation, the level after this, the arena challenge that normally unlocks simply doesn't. It is for some reason not tied to the end of the level check, but to beating the gunship. So we need to defeat this guy to get past. Now, I'm not too sure what happened here, but when repeating, we just barely beat him. I think because the bomb hit and long enough after the boss's invincibility frames ended, the shrapnel hit him. I'm not too sure, but I'm not complaining. After being scared for my life, we tackle the facility, which has lots of enemies, but they are nothing in comparison to the hell we just dealt with. To the point that most enemies here, except the snipers, die in a single hit, even the Gatling gun enemies, but don't worry, I'll be suffering by their hands soon enough. We find out that Nefarious is working on a super weapon called the Bio-Obliterator, and that it was last sighted near the Obani Moons. This trip to the arena is luckily a whole lot easier than the last one. The obstacle course is more or less the same, but the arena battle we need to complete is just a fight against the boss Scorpio, which is one of the easiest bosses in the series, going down almost immediately. We then witness Ratchet woo Miss Gears.
It is an honor for you to meet me. I mean, to meet you, Miss Gears. Hi. Hi.
But Clank can do it without issues.
I've got a few secrets of my own that might need your special investigation.
I feel a little violated, but it matters not. We have successfully convinced Courtney Gears to betray Nefarious in exchange for her appearance on Secret Agent Clank's next episode. Now that we have finished the story of the arena level, we can now unlock all the challenges, including the Quarktastic battle, but we won't be able to complete the longer arena battles without that gadget a little bit later. But we can take down the bosses and the time challenges. A cool detail about the random weapons challenge, because we disabled all the other weapons with the debug, this is in fact just an infinite ammo challenge, so that's fun. Obani Gemini is one half refractor puzzle and the other half a bit of combat, but all these enemies are identical to Dax, so there's not much I can say about here, but we can appreciate the music for just a little bit. We're on set for the latest Secret Agent Clank episode, but Ratchet's sheer incompetence gets him fired, with Scratch the Monkey getting the spotlight he deserves. This is just one long Clank level, and really there's not much I can say about it. The giant Clank level is pretty cool though, and for those who don't know, you don't have to defeat the ninjas. You can just keep attacking the Terror of Talos by jumping while shooting, and he will just continue to take damage. We meet Courtney Gears after shooting, trying to get her to double-cross Nefarious. Unfortunately, Courtney Gears is in fact evil, and she's potentially in bed with Nefarious too?
I have a present for you, Snicky Wookums.
Nefarious then attempts to talk Clank into joining him, only for Clank to obviously refuse, and we learn a little extra something.
Oh, Len, I can't. It's not right. You're my cousin's uncle's son.
We swap back to Ratchet and need to make our way back to the ship. These green enemies are the toughest class of Tyrannoids. They fly, shoot with pinpoint accuracy, and those shots will hurt without armor. Honestly though, Hollowstar isn't so bad other than the hacker sections. Why are these so long? A better question, why are they back to back? We find Clank at the ship, and this is totally not an evil replacement named Clunk. This is the second lot of required Ranger missions, and in fact this entire level is just a multiplayer map retooled for the campaign. Pretty neat stuff. However, this is still gonna be an insane challenge. Again, same as Marcadia, we don't have access to a vendor at all. So these few ammo crates around the arena will have to do. But again, the Rangers are here to help, and while they may be pretty bad at taking down enemies, any help is better than no help. And with said help, we can beat these Ranger missions just barely, unironically ending on 0 ammo on each mission. Close one. As a gesture of thanks, they give us the gravity boots. We beat the literal 2-minute straight line here and find Skid, who got kidnapped a bit ago, but it seems he doesn't want to be saved.
Like I never knew you were this kinky, Miss Gears.
Don't you ever shut up.
And then we need to fight Courtney Gears. This is normally a fight that can end almost every challenge run. We aren't able to attack Courtney until her backup dancers are gone, and there are lots of backup dancers. And while ammo crates spawn in at the beginning of waves, it's still not going to be enough on its own, but we have a plan. To begin, jump off the edge about 10 times to initiate easy mode. This will give Courtney significantly less health. When taking down the dancers, try to position them near the edge. When shooting bombs, the shrapnel can damage the dancers in the cages, defeating them before they even drop into the arena, saving a lot of ammo. When Gears spawns in, you need to bait her into destroying all the ammo crates to save on your own ammo, and shoot at her carefully. She will teleport frequently, and we don't have enough ammo to afford a miss here. After a while, more dancers will spawn in, so just do as you did before. At half health, Courtney will stay in the center of the arena where you are. You can keep her locked in her first pattern by bombing her like America did to Vietnam, and you will reign supreme. We reach the starport to infiltrate Nefarious's starship, and we track down Captain Quark, who's in the middle of an important conversation.
It was mating season. How could I have known she was your sister?
I've got the same reaction as those two. What the f***? We assault the warship only to find out it was all a trap. He's rigged it to explode, defeating the captain once and for all. Quark goes down with the ship, and I speak for all of us when I say we are all devastated. We then have to play 4 vid comics because I forgot to play them earlier. And we then figure out Nefarious is going to attack Metropolis. Metropolis is where another major difficulty spike happens. All of the Tyrannoids get turned into robots, giving them a massive defense and attack boost. This essentially means we are now one-shottable for the rest of the game. The strat I landed on was taking the time to defeat all the enemies in our path and making trips back to the vendor. This does take a while, as again, we die in a single hit. We then find out that Clunk is not Clank, and we have to fight him. The boss fight against Clunk is pretty interesting. As we are on a moving platform, the aim of the Nitro Launcher isn't that reliable, so we need to get as close as possible. The only issue is that when we get too close to Clunk, he flies away to the other side of the train, giving us only a bit of time to damage him. Luckily, ammo in this encounter is no problem at all. as we can destroy this crate in the back that infinitely respawns. Try to hit Clunk and the crate at the same time to min-max the ammo gain. We destroy Clunk, who definitely doesn't appear in any bad spin-off games, and we rescue Clank. The crash site is easily one of the hardest levels in this challenge. The biggest reason is the whole no armor thing. Take it slow and steady and keep going back to the vendor. By the way, make sure you pick up the nano pack here. This will store extra nanotech and will save you from death once. This is a very necessary tool. We find out that Quark is experiencing new things, and that he is still alive, though Clank is focusing on the wrong part.
What? That Quark had a sister? Huh? No, that he's still alive.
We've now got to climb this final piece of wreckage, and the best thing to do here is just to run as fast as you can. We take the data disk we found to Al, but Al informs us of an interesting find.
We found something interesting in Quark's quarters.
Hey, if it's another crotchetizer, I don't even want to...
We arrive at the captain's hideout, but as usual, before tackling this gauntlet, we need to make a quick little detour to get the very necessary PDA. This will allow us to buy ammo whenever we want, but at 10 times market price. Don't overuse this. However, because we aren't buying armor or weapons, you should have enough bolts to not really have to worry. Now, normally you need a gadget called the Warp Pad here, which you would normally get on Iridia, another Ranger mission planet identical to Vilgar. However, I hate that planet, so I'll show you an easy way to skip it entirely. You see, the Warp Pad is only ever used twice, both on this planet. Equip the helipack and high jump up this support line. It's a bit finicky, but it's not too hard to get past. There's another warp pad thing a bit further up, just hit the button and use the charge boots. You will now have hit a checkpoint and skipped the warp pad and Iridia entirely. Unfortunately, the level only gets harder from here. The Captain Quark robots take too many hits, and there are way too many of them to defeat legitimately. And that's before we talk about the ice physics, which, by the way, are atrocious. We beat the worst Clank level in the series, and we meet the Captain, who's given up on being a hero. So he's not going to be much help at the moment. The Phoenix is under attack by Nefarious' super cool ninja army. The only thing of note in this literal 5-minute level are these giant robot enemies. These guys are tough, but manageable. We know it's time for the Quarktastic battle. We've got to survive 100 rounds of this torture. Lots of these rounds will have different gimmicks, like poison gas, a timer, or the weapon swapping mechanic, which again is simply an infinite ammo round. The fastest way to defeat these waves is by exploiting a little trick. The enemies will only come out of the spots you look at. Knowing this, we can corner the camera and shoot our bomb as the enemies spawn in, defeating them before they even have a chance at attacking us. Once we reach round 50, we need to defeat the Terrible 2, but this is no tougher than normal, so we're absolutely fine. And at round 100, we need to fight Scorpio, which again is no tougher than the first time. Just make sure you save before your attempt so that you can reload the save if you die, saving the bolts you would have lost to PDA purchases. After a while, you will get that 200,000 bolt payout and the bonus challenge is complete. We need to infiltrate the stronghold here to destroy the Bio-Obliterator. Nefarious' troops are all over the city, so we're going to have to fight through them. This level is also a really good place to get lots of bolts for the PDA, which we are going to need in the next level. Try to get lots of enemies close together for an easy takedown. There's a checkpoint when we enter the main area, and for me, I decided to just make a run for it. The enemies here are really tough, and I wanted to save as many bolts as I could. Clank destroys the Bio-Obliterator only for it to be revealed that there is another one left. We arrive at Nefarious' base, the final level in the game and the challenge. This is going to be an endurance round, even more so than the Quarktastic battle, as in this level we die in a single hit, unless we have the backup health with the nano pack. I'm not going to mince words, this is a tough level. The enemies one-shotting us is one thing, but each enemy takes so many shots to defeat that you are 95% likely to die when trying to defeat them. But unlike other levels, leaving enemies alive isn't very smart, as they have insane range. Take it slow and don't take risks, and pray. But you'd better pray double, because now we are fighting Nefarious, and yeah, that's how little damage we're doing to him. This fight is actually going to take half an hour, and again, we can't really get hit. Our safest time to deal damage is when he's shooting at you with his lasers. Run right up to him and he won't be able to hit you, giving you a massive opportunity to damage him, relatively speaking. Unfortunately, phase 1 is the easy part. We've got to race past these 100 enemies. And even then, it's not over yet. All of Nefarious' attacks will be a lot stronger and more difficult to dodge. On top of that, the enemies we ran past can still shoot us. And even worse, due to the PS3 memory, these shots are invisible. But these shots can damage Nefarious too, and they are a lot stronger than our gun. When he spawns dozens of clones, just jump on top of this rock and wait it out. I shouldn't have to say this, but do not get hit by anything. If you die, you need to restart the entire fight, and we've got maybe 3 hits in us total. Keep at it, and eventually Nefarious will fall, and with Captain Quark saving us in the nick of time, the Ratchet Clank 3 Nitro Launcher only challenge is complete. Thank you to all YouTube members, I appreciate every single one of you legends. A specific thank you to a guy named Joe, Al Gore, Bento Baker Primordius, Celestial Nebula, Friendly Neighborhood Lurker, Hamza Javid, HK Gaming, Invigil, iPod Num 3, Jeremy Miller, Jordan Bilbao, Joshua Andres, LNG_Dylan_2K, Luke Pellerin, Max TV 02, Multibrad X, N7IE Guy, No One, Quacker Wheels, Ryan Michaelborough, Shizoida, Unoriginal Named Gamer, Vendor on YTB, Xavier HD _XXPitters98XX _, and thank you for watching the full video.